Hey guys, we're back with another makeover video with Amanda here. I'm going to go ahead and jump in right away, cleaning up her eyebrows and reshaping them. They're really small to begin with, so just had to kind of clean them up really well. Here we're going to go ahead and apply the eyelid primer for the eyeshadow. Because I was doing such a bold eye, I wanted to get the eyes done first just in case if there were any fallouts, and then I would go ahead with my usual primer and concealer and foundation. So definitely starting off with the eyes first, I wanted to put down the gold base. So as you can see, I'm really trying to pack this in as well as I can. You want to make sure you have a really good eyeshadow brush. Tools definitely make a huge difference. So yeah, again, I cannot talk. It is super late at night, so don't mind me. But yes, you want to make sure you have a really good eyeshadow brush and you want to pack this in really well. Don't worry about the fallouts. Again, I'm going to actually show a trick in here of how to clean them up without ruining your makeup. But just make sure you have an even layer of the eyeshadow on both eyelids. So that's basically what I'm focusing on right now. Going in with the transitional color, I am doing a light green, and it kind of has like an earthy tone to it, so I want to go in with that and just blend that in as much as I can right above the gold. So this is going to be the crease and then a little over the crease. You don't want to add extra product a little over the crease, so you just want to blend it through as much as you can. Then you want to go ahead and add a highlight to the brow bone and make sure you pick a light color. I used a beige pearl color, which is perfect. And then you want to grab a clean fluffy brush and you're just going to start blending the gold and the transitional color together really well. You want to soften it up as much as possible so this way it looks really natural. It's not too bold and blunt in your face. So you really want to make sure you blend your colors really well. So this way they pop and it looks more refined and finished. Okay, so I took a thick brush, which is really thin in width, and I'm using a dark chocolate brown, almost like a close to a black color, as an eyeliner. And I'm not going to do this as a like refined eyeliner. I'm going to fluff this out with my brush and kind of make it look really smudgy, almost like how you would for a smoky eye, but I just want it to give more of a depth and a shadow than a liner. So this is a really neat trick for when you can't perfect your perfect liner. This is a really easy way to give the illusion of a liner, but it's like a smudgy, smoky look. Then using the same brush, not adding any more product, you want to just blend out the corners up into the crease a quarter way through. Don't go too much because then it's going to make your eyelids look really hollow. So you want to make sure that you're really blending the corners up into the crease only a quarter way. Here's the trick I was talking about. You're going to go ahead and take a face pad and you're going to fold it in half, use rubbing alcohol or stress toner or whatever you want, and makeup remover, and you're just going to fold it and just wipe underneath the eye in an upward motion at an angle, going along how your eyelashes would go. So just at an angle you're going to wipe upwards, and that will take care of any fallouts. Here you're going to go ahead with a concealer. Now I'm purposely going to do a double layer concealer with Amanda just because she had problem skin and a lot of redness mainly, so this was going to help mute all that out. So again, you want to touch up your highlights and concealers in your T-zone. So normally I like to fan out the forehead, do a triangle underneath the eyes, go down the nose, your cupid's bow over your lip, and then your chin. And then of course, blend that through. This part you don't have to do, like not everybody has to do this. I'm doing a spot cover where I take a more potent concealer, which is a lot more stronger in its coverage, and just covering up the spots that she had that day that were really stubborn to cover. So that's just all that I was doing. Using her foundation stick, I went ahead and applied it all over her face, and I make sure to get the neck and underneath the chin, because again, you don't want to make it look like you have a mask. You want it to all blend through. Some people have a lighter neck than their chest. Some people have a darker, complexion transition between the face and the neck and the chest. So you just kind of want to blend everything through, so this way it's all even. So again, using a foundation brush, I'm just blending her foundation stick all over, making sure everything's covered evenly, and moving on to the next step. So now doing the highlight for a highlighting purpose after foundation, this part is important. So again, I'm using my potent concealer. It's going to go again in your T-zone, forehead, underneath the eyes in a triangle shape, the upper lip and the chin, and then down the nose. As you can see, she has a little bit of a dark circle, so this is where I'm going to take care of that. And it just, again, it adds the highlights that we're going to need once we start adding our contour. Alright, with the setting powder, this is extremely important. This is what's going to help you. This is what's going to help you not sweat through your makeup, and it's going to help keep everything in place all day as long as you need it to be. So setting powder is extremely important. So I use a huge fluffy brush to do this. It helps cover everything perfectly, and then again, having a great setting powder is really important because it'll help fill in all the little gaps. It'll prevent you from creasing and getting all cakey. So as I said before, I like to go ahead and explain everything to my clients, so this way they're able to go home and do it themselves. So here I'm just showing that using a brush, you look straight and align the pupil of your eye down to your cheek, and that's exactly where you're going to stop your contour. You don't want to get too close to your mouth, so you're going to go ahead and bring it from your ear, and you're just going to fluff with the tip of the brush. I'm not using the entire brush, so here it does look like I'm using the whole brush on her because it is a big brush. Normally I like to use a smaller one for contouring, but this is the only one I had on hand at the time. But I'm just using the tip of it, and a lot of it is blending. I'm not adding a lot of product to this at all. So again, blending is your best friend. And again, I'm just going ahead and framing her whole face because it just adds the perfect shadows. It's going to look great in pictures. It's going to look great in general, and it just gives it a more polished, finished look. And again, I can't stress enough of having to just make sure you blend everything through. Make sure you're doing your neck. Don't leave out those areas. Don't just do your face. Always work it into your neck. And under your jawline, it helps add a nice shadow. So yeah, just make sure you're always touching up all the little details, because in the end, all the little details look flawless. Alright, so now going with the small width brush, you can use even smaller brushes for this. I just used this brush with her because it just fit her face shape a lot more. But I'm just going ahead and sculpting her nose, not to fix it, just to add shadows. I love doing like between the inner eyes and the eyebrow. It adds just such a gorgeous shadow. So again, it looks great for pictures, and in general, it just is a perfect way to contour the nose. So just like you contour your cheeks, you contour your nose. Here I'm carving out her cheeks a little bit more just to give them more depth. So yes, we went in with a fluffy brush, but now I'm going in with a more precision brush. and this way it'll just have more of that carved look into her cheeks. Here I'm just using a flat brush to go ahead and set her underneath her eyes, so this way they don't cake or anything. You really want to make sure that you don't put it directly underneath your eyes. You want to kind of work your way up into it. So you're going to start about like maybe a ½ inch below, and then just work your way up and just pat it in a patting motion. So never rub, never, pull on the skin, just pat it in really carefully. And then of course blend everything with a big fluffy brush. Okay, so really quick, I know it looks really fast in the video, but to add the blush, again, you always want to do an extended motion. You don't want to just focus it on your apples of your cheeks, so an extended motion just helps elongate the sides of your cheeks. It looks really, really beautiful. And then I'm going in with an angled brush and doing the highlight right above where I did the blush. So again, you want to do it in an extended motion. I like to touch up the nose, the cupid's bow, and the chin with it, and then using the same highlighter, I just add a little bit extra on the brow bone to help capture light more. And as you can see in the video, it does. And it looks absolutely beautiful. So no matter what way you're moving your face or whatever lighting you're in some way, you're going to capture beautiful, 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 beautiful lighting. And again, I can't talk. Okay, and really quick, just doing her eyebrows now that they're cleaned and reshaped.
I did that.
And I'm about to be silly.
I did that.
There we go.
Does she look beautiful?
Alrighty, so after being extremely silly as usual, once you get to know me, I like come out of my shell and I'm like super silly. I'm like a big kid. But then again, who isn't? And you have to be.
Oh my God.
So she ended up loving it. Amanda was floored by the difference of how her eyebrows looked, and it's just so much easier to do your eyebrows when they are shaped correctly. So next time if you're having trouble doing your eyebrows, just always make sure that they're cleaned and they're shaped exactly how you want them, because it really does. It makes a huge difference. And I did both eyebrows, but just to show you one eyebrow real quick, just had to show it, and then of course blend out the front, make sure the tail is thinner, and that's it. So here's the finished look with the makeup. We did the golden smoky eye and giving her a nice summery glow. Here with the hair, I ended up tying one section off on the left side and then took the whole right side and braided that into a tight braid. You want to leave a little bit of space at the end, and then take the section that we took, braid that as well. Really tight, and then you're going to grab a hair tie that at the end, and then you're going to go ahead and tuck it into the first braid that you made. Then you want to hide it behind the braids that you have, plug in a bunch of bobby pins to make sure it's not going to move or come undone or anything.
The Nude palette has the gold eyeshadow that you can not only use on your eyelids, but you can actually use that as your highlighter or as your blush. If you just take very little, dust it off, and just kind of lightly brush it on there, it'll look super glowy and really beautiful. And then just blend it out. Don't just leave it there, because otherwise it's going to look like a harsh line and there'll be too much on your cheeks. But it will look super nice. And just to show you an example, I'll do a little bit. So I'm taking very little on my brush, dusting off the rest of it. Tone your face, please. And just do the gold. Oh my God. And you just kind of brush it and blend it. I'm going to take a brush that doesn't have any product on it and just blend that through. And you can see the difference here. You can see the difference here. And it shows, like, especially if you have lots of blemishes on your cheeks, I kind of prefer a gold type of blush because it hides any redness a lot better. That covers up a lot better. Actually, that covered your blemishes really cool. Really nice. There you go.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better.
And there you go. That's how you would do a golden, like a more golden glow type of look for the summertime to really help it pop and tie it all in together. Don't do a dark lip because the dark lip really kind of looks standoffish for the entire look. So I would just stay with lighter colors like a light magenta, a peach, a beige, even like a nude color. So that would look great. And then a clear gloss on top just to make it, you know, like that wet look. Looks absolutely beautiful with the golden glow. So I'm glad you like it, and thank you so much.
I don't like
for
it, I
coming
love it.
Oh,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for coming, and you're welcome back to be my model anytime
Thank you.
because it was wonderful working with you, and
Oh
you
my
have
gosh, it's been fun.
gorgeous features.